Gowdy predicts new Trump shakeup in 1 week. I'll be surprised if he's still an employee, by Joe Setion for WesternJournal.com. After FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe abruptly canceled his scheduled testimony before the House Intelligence Committee this week, South Carolina Republican Representative Trey Gowdy made a prediction about McCabe's future employment status. McCabe was supposed to appear before the committee on Tuesday for a closed-door testimony to answer questions related to Peter Strzok, an FBI official who was removed from Special Counsel Robert Mueller's probe into Russian collusion in the 2016 presidential election due to anti-Donald Trump text messages sent to a colleague. At the last minute, though, McCabe pushed back his testimony. Speaking Wednesday night with Fox News host Martha McCallum, Gowdy indicated he would be surprised if McCabe testified next week, or if the deputy director even has a job at that point. Remember, we were supposed to interview Andy McCabe yesterday, said Gowdy, who is a member of the Intelligence Committee. It was all set up and ready to go, and then at the last minute, they said he can't come Tuesday, he's going to come next week.
For Hatch Act reasons, remember, we were supposed to interview Andy McCabe yesterday on another committee. It was all set up and ready to go, and then at the last minute they said, he can't come Tuesday, he's going to come next week. I'll be shocked if he comes next week. I'll be a little bit surprised if he's still an employee this time next week. But the notion that 3 bureau agents would be conspiring or plotting on how to handle the outcome of a presidential election is the opposite of what you want in an objective, dispassionate, neutral FBI.
All right, so you said that when you go home to South Carolina next week, you're going to get a lot of questions about all of this. And I would imagine that your constituents are going to want to know, so what happens? What happens now? How are they going to right this ship?
They will want to know that, and they will want to know whether or not we can trust or rely upon what Robert Mueller comes up with. And I have been very defensive of Robert Mueller from day one, even up until as recently as a week ago. But he hired some people that have terrible bias, and he didn't have to. There are plenty of women and men who don't contribute to political campaigns. There are plenty of prosecutors he could have hired. So at some point, Bob Mueller's going to have to explain, how did he vet these prosecutors and agents? How did these folks slip by? Because what's going to happen, Martha, is if he decides to do something to the Trump campaign or prosecute President Trump, Republicans have a built-in argument for bias, that the fix was in from day one. And if he clears President Trump, then the Democrats are going to say, well, the pressure from the Republicans was so unrelenting. He's in a no-win situation, but he's there because of some of the decisions he's made.
Yeah. Do you think that conspiracy point that we just talked about, does that lay the groundwork for any Hatch Act investigation, do you think, before I let you go?
Well, I think using an official phone to discuss politics is a Hatch Act violation. That's my old job, but it is incredibly problematic that you are in the deputy. Remember, Jim Comey gets very sanctimonious when you talk to him about a politicized FBI. Very sanctimonious. Well, guess what? In his deputy director's office, they were discussing how to prevent one candidate from becoming president of the United States. It doesn't get any more political than that.
But they wanted some kind of insurance policy against that potential eventuality, which they obviously all found an atrocious idea. Trey Gowdy.
Almost as bad as Ted Cruz. Almost as bad as Ted Cruz.
Right?
Well, he said that. Okay. One source, DOJ told Fox News in a statement that McCabe's testimony had to be canceled due to a scheduling error, but other sources indicate that wasn't the real reason. One source suggested the testimony was rescheduled following the revelation that Nellie Orr, the wife of DOJ official Bruce Orr, used to work for Fusion GPS, the opposition research firm that created the infamous Trump-Russia dossier. Chad Pergram. Congressional sources tell Fox News they believe FBI Director McCabe not coming to House Intel Committee tomorrow because he was asked about Bruce Orr and Orr's wife Nellie, who worked for Fusion GPS, something far more sinister. Previously, it had been revealed that Bruce Orr met on several occasions last year with Fusion co-founder Glenn Simpson and Christopher Steele, the former British spy and FBI informant who produced the unverified dossier. McCabe is now set to appear before House investigators on Tuesday. He is likely to be asked about both Orr and Strzok. The committee's intense interest in McCabe is due in part to one of the anti-Trump text messages that Strzok sent his colleague Lisa Page, with whom he was having an extramarital affair. I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, that there's no way to he gets elected, but I'm afraid we can't take that risk, Strzok wrote on August 15, 2016, referring to the possibility of Trump being elected. It's like an insurance policy. In the unlikely event you die before you're 40, Republican lawmaker and others believe Andy may be a reference to McCabe. This text is the one that concerns me the most, House Judiciary Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte said Thursday on Fox and Friends. Andy is presumably Andrew McCabe, and this text is very troubling because it suggests that they're doing something. They have a plan to take action to make sure that Donald Trump does not get elected President of the United States at the highest level of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Goodlatte's remarks came on one day after Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein testified before the Judiciary Committee and defended the investigation led by Mueller. Gowdy, though, was more worried about why it seemed as though the FBI was trying to keep Trump from becoming president. I'm still trying to figure out why 3 FBI agents are discussing politics in the deputy director's office, because you're not supposed to discuss politics on federal ground, and FBI agents aren't supposed to engage in politics for Hatch Act reasons, he said. As Gowdy pointed out, the notion that 3 bureau agents would be conspiring or plotting on how to handle the outcome of a presidential election is the opposite of what you want in an objective, dispassionate, neutral FBI, according to the Blaze. But what I'm saying, it's supposed that it was Andy McCabe. What if Andrew McCabe says that that wasn't me? We were referring to another Andy. They have to produce who the Andy is, but also I'm more than sure that they mentioned this name among all those texts through the course of time, that not only one Andy came up in that to point to Andrew McCabe, you see. I don't know what to think of how he's going to worm out his way out of this, you know, because I don't want him to. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and again, thank you so much for watching.